We did leave from the Port of Houston, and there were lots of people there. I don't guess anybody knows how many. But the churches in Houston came out. We all had family there, and then the churches in Houston came. It was a very, very emotional day.
There were hundreds of people standing on the dock, waving as we took off.
We were all standing there getting our last look at our folks, and we pulled away. We were less than a foot away, and Ellis says, "Hey, look, guys, we're missionaries."
We had a concrete plan when we came to São Paulo. We wanted to go down and establish a good, strong congregation, stay together in doing that. But then as that congregation was built, we began to spread out. The other congregations were established in various areas of town.
I felt like we were writing history. The church had barely been established in Brazil when we got here. Things were just beginning to happen, and the church was growing so fast.
We had, as a team, the desire to establish the church in key cities in South America and other places. A few years later, when Ellis was ready to go back to the States, he said, I have an idea. I have an idea of devoting my full time to recruiting teams for the major cities of South America. Would you guys give me your blessing?
He found a wonderful congregation that would stand behind him in this, the Central Church in Amarillo, and they're still with the program.
So thankful for the Continent of Great Cities, because what they were able to do was take some ideas that a group of us had worked with and toiled with, and then Continent of Great Cities has been able to perfect those ideas and add nuances to those ideas and increase the vision of those ideas.
Well, it worked out good, and it's just grown more and more, not only in Brazil, but all over Latin America.
From the sidewalks of South America to the tall towers of Texas, this is today's Continent of Great Cities. Born from that 1961 mission team, Continent of Great Cities has grown into a global organization with offices in North Dallas and Sao Paulo, Brazil.
The mission of Continent of Great Cities is to proclaim Jesus by planting churches in the great cities of the Latin world.
Since 1976, more than 30 teams and 300 missionaries have come through Continent of Great Cities. Those mission teams have established hundreds of congregations and led thousands to Christ.
While the size and scope of the ministry continue to grow, our goal remains the same: to share Jesus with the great people of the Latin world.
What began as an effort to recruit and train North Americans to plant Latin churches has evolved into a multilingual mission strategy. Today, Continent of Great Cities is also recruiting, training, and caring for Hispanic and Brazilian mission teams as well. All of those teams are establishing congregations in the world's biggest Spanish and Portuguese-speaking cities.
One of the things that's unique to Continent of Great Cities is our training program. There's classroom-type seminars and teachings on developing a vision and a strategy, on how to plant urban churches, on the history and culture of a particular place that they may be going, on very specific things like language training. Our training isn't limited to a classroom. We want them to be involved in a very hands-on, experiential manner as well. So we try to find churches that they can partner with, where they can be involved in personal evangelism, where they can have an opportunity to begin their own small group ministry so that they can learn on the job as they do it. So our idea is that when they leave, they're not just a collective group of individuals, but they are a group that has an idea of where they're going, what it is that God's called them to do, and how they can use their strengths and abilities and this information that they've learned to the glory of God in planting a strong church or churches wherever it is that they've been called.
We now have 6 Latin American teams with which we're working. The 6th is destined to go to Mexico City. And there are several other teams that are looking toward that great city. It's been a thrill for us to help train those teams, to form them together, to train them, to mentor them as they work toward the realization of their goals, which are to establish strong churches where there were none. They've shown themselves to be capable and effective and zealous and intelligent and dedicated.
In many ways, Continent of Great Cities has come full circle with the opening of our satellite office in Brazil. From this office, we can more easily recruit Brazilian Christians for church planting teams and care for North American missionaries throughout South America. And what's even more significant, our very first team of Brazilian missionaries is made up in part by the children and grandchildren of some of the earliest converts of that São Paulo team. To me, this is special because it means God has been faithful to this ministry to the second and third generation.
Continent of Great Cities isn't just recruiting new kinds of teams, but targeting new territories as well, including those right here at home. The Rosemont area of southwest Fort Worth, Texas, is Continent of Great Cities' first ever U.S.-based Hispanic church plant.
The former Rosemont Church of Christ campus has been donated and is being dedicated to this effort. A team was recruited and trained in 2008 and began working to share the message of Jesus in January of 2009. Of course, the goal is to establish a vibrant, growing congregation with its own leadership over a 7-year timeline. In addition to that, we plan to use the Rosemont location as a learning lab. We want to learn how to effectively share the message of Christ within the U.S. context to Hispanics that live in this nation. We also then want to repeat that process by recruiting other missionary teams that will go into highly Hispanic areas of the continental United States.
No matter what kind of team or where the church is being planted, Continent of Great Cities is committed to caring for its team members from the time the missionaries are recruited until they come back home.
Our goal is to come alongside of each missionary for their full missionary life cycle. And it was exciting to visit them, and where care becomes more mentoring and coaching as these special people carry out their ministry a long ways from home.
To be honest, I can't imagine how we would have been successful moving to a new culture, moving to this huge city in Brazil, with planting a church basically with starting from scratch. I can't imagine how that could have been successful without this training and support we got from the Continent of Great Cities.
Continent of Great Cities ministers to its mission teams so that those mission teams can reach out to the millions of Spanish and Portuguese-speaking people worldwide.
God of this city, you're the king of these people, you're the Lord of this nation, you are.
Continent of Great Cities stands on the shoulders of that 1961 São Paulo team. I'm proud to know them and to have worked alongside them for many years. And I'm thankful that God has used Continent of Great Cities to help make some of their dreams a reality.
It is a thrill to me to know that we have been involved in something that has lasted, that has expanded, that continues to grow.
For greater things have yet to come, and greater things are still to be done in this